Now, let's say it is someone that hasn't really exercised since the Reagan administration.
Right.
All right.
You're watching The Light of Care. Our goal is to provide comfort, company, and respite to elders in need. This podcast aims to educate seniors and their families about the resources and support available to help them live well and age with confidence. Today we have a special guest. His name is Freddy Silva, and he owns Rock Steady Boxing. Now that seems like a very odd person to have on our show, but let me tell you why he's here. I heard him speak at an event a couple months ago about Parkinson's. And he trains people with Parkinson's and helps them not only deal with the disease, but get better. And I was so taken by listening to him that I had to have him come on the show. So welcome, Freddy Silva.
Thank you.
From Rocksteady Boxing. Okay, tell us your story, Freddy. I'm just going to let you roll.
Well, I am a boxing trainer, like you said, and I work with professional and amateur fighters. I've worked with the world champion, Melissa McMorrow. I've worked with Dante Kirkman, who is currently the first Stanford fighter students ever in Stanford's history to be professional.
Wow, that's a big deal.
It is a big deal, but what is a bigger deal, and what's become a bigger deal to me for the past 13 years, is using my skills as a boxing teacher, instructor, coach, to help people with Parkinson's. One of my clients, who I do personal training as a boxing coach, she was an ER doctor at Stanford, and she said, Freddie, I have a friend that started this thing called Rock Steady in San Francisco. She helps people with Parkinson's in the boxing program. I'm like, what? She needs volunteers. She needs help. She just started this endeavor.
This is interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I was like, okay, I'll help. I'll be in the city a couple times a week. And I walk into Polk Street Gym, and this is in, I think, 2011. And I walk in, there's about 15 people hitting bags, doing speed bags, jumping rope, and I fell in love. The 60-minute segment with Leslie Stahl came on.
Oh, yeah, I'm glad you're bringing that up. I really want you to talk about that.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Leslie Stahl's husband had Parkinson's, rest his soul. He passed last year. And she follows him around Gleason's gym. Gleason's is a world-renowned gym in New York City. And they were, I think, the 10th franchise of Rocksteady. And she's talking about Rocksteady and what her husband does all day while she's working. And she's following him around. And I had 30 people. I went from 2 people to 30 people in about 2 weeks. They saw.
Wow.
So I just grew from there, and what became a side gig really became something that called me. This was like, okay, Freddie, this is what you're doing.
This is your calling.
This is your calling.
We finally found you. And
Right.
as we know, it's becoming so prevalent in the elderly community for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like it seems to me, listening to you, that this is an old thing, but it's actually very new. And all these things that you can do to be effective are really coming to the forefront and calling you.
Yeah, I mean, I think you touched on a couple of things. One of them is, I think, the awareness that people are having with Parkinson's. And like it used to be, oh, my uncle has it, or my grandparents had it, where now it's like, oh, my uncle that's 52 has it. So I think it's a combination of medicine is advancing. So the what's the word I'm looking for? Diagnosis are coming out sooner, and we're able to treat people sooner. That's huge.
How effective is boxing to this disease?
And I can say this legally because we have been peer reviewed by Indiana University. We slow the progression of Parkinson's. So let's say you're someone with Parkinson's, we call it early onset, between 50 or it could be 40s. But I would say there's more early onset starting in the early 50s on, who don't have severe symptoms yet. We're seeing them actually, if the disease not progressing,
That's
or
amazing.
it's reversing. I had this guy from Half Moon Bay, and I think he was close to 80, and he came in hunched over in a walker, and I'm just going, man, I guess he can hold it with one hand and punch, and There's things he can do. I make adjustments for everybody. Modifications. You can do it in your wheelchair. And about a month later, the guy has no walker. And I'm thinking they're just trying to impress me. Like his wife goes, Freddie, watch this. And he comes in and I'm like, oh, whoa, stay close to him. She's like, no, he won't let me. And for the next month, oh man, it chokes me up. He had no walker. He was punching on his own. He would give me these like looks because I would sidle up to him because I was like, ah. And he stopped coming about 2 months later. He didn't die of Parkinson's. I think he had congestive heart failure.
But he lived his better life.
Man, and he loved it.
Oh, that's awesome. What a great story.
And I see it, and that's not the only one. But really statistically, and this is kind of more of my personality, it's very organic. Like there might be somebody in there with their 80s that has some cognitive issues and has trouble understanding 1-2. They might go 2-1.
I mean, I exercise all the time. I'm an avid exerciser. But the endorphins have to help your brain. I mean, I don't know how it affects anything. I know how I feel after I work out, and they say it's endorphins. Yeah. So I can't only imagine that that's the same kind of thing, especially if you haven't done it for 30 years or whatever, or you're starting to decline as you get older, and then you start doing this because you think it will make you better when it affects your whole body.
And you've touched on about 3 different things that I tell people, right, when they come in for the first time. Now, let's say it is someone that hasn't really exercised since the Reagan administration. Right. All right. It's someone that's like, I walk the dog and I go to the park with my grandkids.
Right.
So we set it up where it's like, this will work if you do this twice a week. You're doing the treadmill at home or at the gym, a stationary bike.
How do you adjust for safety and mobility?
Yeah.
And obviously, we just heard you talk about improvements in your clients.
Yeah.
So what's a typical class for you? Obviously, you got to make sure they're safe. Mm-hmm. And then what are some of that? Do you adjust each class for each person, or do you have a class full and they all do the same thing?
Have them together. I have enough staff that I can say, hey, Luigi,
little one-on-one.
Go work over there with him. And but for safety, and which is paramount, that's number one. This is a huge fall risk. Is if I was
our whole life.
Right, their whole life is a fall risk.
Yeah.
So let's say you came in and I said, okay, we're going to do an assessment first. It takes about 20 minutes. And then I'll say, I think you'd be great since you told me you're already doing some aerobic work at home twice a week, doing Rocksteady 3 times a week. The first couple of days, they're a little taken back because there is about 20 to 30 people in my classes. Wow. I have a lot of staff to make sure everyone's okay. I have a couple of people there that bring their own assistants. We call them cornermen.
They're probably caregivers, probably ours.
They are, and they're fantastic. And so they come in and help out. But what I try to really give folks is autonomy. I don't want this to feel clinical. Mm-hmm. I don't want you to feel like, my PT told me to come here, which some do. Yeah. I want you to feel like this is a gym class, and I'm going to kick your butt.
Yep.
You're going to be working hard.
Better keep up. Yep.
Better keep up. If you can't, let's make some adjustments.
Yep.
And I always tell folks that it's almost like middle school. It's peer pressure, forced exercise. Mm-hmm. Well, if Ian is over here doing jabs and crosses, and I can see the other guy sharing a bag, I got to keep up.
Right. That's good, though.
You touched on endorphins earlier. So Parkinson's, and I didn't mention this earlier for folks that don't know, is that they are not producing dopamine anymore. A very important neurotransmitter that all of us use.
Of course.
You get up in the morning, you drag a little bit, all of a sudden, ooh, hey, we're feeling good. That's primarily dopamine, right? That's getting us through the day. That's got us smiling and, reacting with our faces and our shoulders. Sunshine helps. They don't have it. So you touched on endorphins, serotonin, adrenaline. These are the different neurotransmitters that vigorous exercise produces.
How will we get in touch with you?
We are at www.rocksteadypeninsula.com. It has my email. It has my phone number. You can text me. I don't answer a lot. I'm pretty busy. Text me. Let me know if you're interested.
Well, I cannot thank you enough for coming and speaking with us. And we've got way more interviews on the way. For now, a huge thank you to my team, for everybody involved in this, bringing this podcast to life. For more information, please check out our website at FirstLightHomeCare.com. Follow us on our social media. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.